Okay, are you able to view my screen?
Yes, Raj.
Okay, so this is where we are at day 6. We learned all these things. We have done labs, setups, both data warehousing DBT, and we gone through one use case. We have created models and with calculations and all. We tested, including a reference function in after running DBT models, we have checked that output in Snowflake. So that's what we have done. So finally, this is the concept I've explained earlier, but I will just recap what is test actually, why it is needed. Um, somewhere, yep, okay. Um, Test means, see, I mean, just think scenario like this, right? We are getting source data. It is always to check. There would be specific use cases. Some columns always should be unique. Means suppose customer ID, we are getting customer data from some source, right? That customer ID should be always unique, right? That's how our use cases are project requirements, because based on that only, right? And some data, there should not be nulls, right? Again, this is how usually scenarios would be. So if DBT is not there, as I said earlier, sometimes your data warehouse tools also would provide, but at least I have not seen much. So we need to code separately. If it is Snowflake, if you need to do all these testing, right, each and every table, you need to write separate uh, code to test whether it is a unique scenario or null scenarios and all. So that's how we need to write tests if DBT is not there. So because DBT has that inbuilt feature where it will has framework to test models and even data sets, in the sense that data is coming from sources. Okay, so then because why we are just doing tests, because that model accuracy, that table I explained, right, that data definitely it should meet that particular requirement. Otherwise, our data is not a trusted data, right? So that's the purpose of this test. So DBT out of box test, we have these means unique. It will test whatever the column you are just applying the test, whether it is unique or not, and it contains any null values. It will, if any null values, it will fail. So you need to understand that data model actually, what columns we need to apply these tests, right? That's, we need to have clarity. Being a data architect or being a data engineer, I need to know, means after discussing the client, I need to know that what are the um, columns I need to apply these tests, right? That clarity I need to have. Then accepted values, probably I will just explain while during the script you will understand, means any column, what are the accepted values, means probably you can give pass on 4 or 5 values. If that particular column getting the data other than these 5 or 6 values, it will fail. Okay, relationship, I will just explain this also. So this is, then again you can write custom test as well, means you can write some custom test where you can apply that also. I will explain in just few minutes while showing. So documentation, again I will show you. You know, I mean, this is I explained. So it's kind of metadata and all, right? So what are the columns? What are the data types? Everything it will give you, means who Warner modified. So okay, so let me just open this lab guide, then probably I will just explain. So this test and documents now we discuss. So this is the use case where we tested, we got source data, we have done, means we got the data as a raw tables. Then we have done transformations where now we got the data as enriched data sets, right? So now we are writing tests because DBT out of box, it is already there. You have two ways. You can apply your test either on models, or you can even apply tests on source file as well. Okay, so in this hands-on, probably we'll just anything is fine. Means whatever it benefit to us, whatever it makes more sense for us, right? Suppose if you want to just test the data source end itself, right? You can write, you can just apply test on source end itself. Or you want to apply test each and every model, you can just apply test on each and every model. So now coming to, because we have created this fact orders table. So whatever the description we are writing, that documents, whatever I'm just referring, right, that will pick up descriptions from this one. When you see that fact orders table, it will give. So that is the purpose of this description. Okay. Then column, suppose order key, then again description. So these are the tests. As I said, these are the tests given by unique and not null. It's coming from directly from DBT. So we are directly using, instead of writing all these kind of a piece of code, right? Usually, if you don't have this functionality, you need to write that code, and you need to write the code, and you need to add that in each and every tables code, right? But here we are just simply adding this one. That's it. Then relationship, probably what it means. Suppose, just to give you example, you have two tables. Okay, so customers table and orders table, for example. In customers table, every row you have customer ID. It's kind of usually unique. And orders table, you have order ID, for example. Okay, there is another column called customer ID. So the condition can be like this, right? For every order ID, there should be aligned to some customer ID. That is the condition. That customer ID definitely should be part of this customers table, right? For example, you are getting order that is assigned to some different customer ID, which is not part of this customer. Probably you will get some warning, or that test will fail. Then you will know, okay, there is something wrong in my incoming data. So you will just see, or you will analyze what is happening there, right? That's what the purpose of this one. So that is what a relationship means here. Sorry. Okay, so this is the purpose of this one, where you give relationship, means this is how it will test. What is that key, and if it is a severity warning, or if you want to fail or fail, right? Then see, if you observe some other thing, for example, order date, right? You are not giving any test here. Means wherever you are giving tests, it will test only that particular column. Is it clear? Are you clear?
Repeat once again, Rajiv.
Sorry.
Could you please repeat it once again?
Okay. So these test part, you understand, right? What are the different tests? What point I'm saying? You have, for example, different columns, right? Names means these are the columns: order key, okay, customer key, and priority code and all. So what I'm saying, suppose out of 10 columns, for 2 columns only, you need to test it whether it is a unique and not null, because the remaining 8 columns, for example, right, are not critical. Even it pass that test cases, it is okay. Means not necessarily should be unique, not necessarily uh, even though it's null values, that is okay. Means based on your business requirement, right? So out of the 10 columns, whatever the columns you need to test, that place only you will apply all these tests, right? Order key for me now I need to test. It should be meeting this criteria, right? Customer key, that is okay. I no need to test. It can be anything, right? For me, I don't have any dependency. Again, order date, right? I'm not giving anything. Okay. So this is how we give. Then the other concept, for example, status code, right? Status code, you have given us this is the third type of test. Accepted values means for that particular column it will test values POF. If we are getting a data, right, other than these values, the test will fail. Again, you will analyze why that test failed. You will know, I mean, because we are getting the data which is not part of these accepted values. Okay. So these are the some tests, and also you can write your own test cases, like for example, other than this unique nulls, accepted values relationship, right? If these are there, directly you can use these tests. Then you can write custom test as well. Custom test in the sense, for example, to just give you example, you write small piece of code for that business scenario, right? Total amount should be always greater than 0, right? So you're just giving this simple piece of code where you will use all that your reference and all. Again, this is very it will become simple code, right? Because you are using DBT all features where reference and all, right? So you're only just giving condition. I'm just giving it's an example, right? That total amount should be always 0. If it is a negative amount, means something is wrong. So this is how you write some custom tests wherever it is needed. Okay, so once we are done, means we applied all these tests wherever it is needed. As I said, concept is you can apply it on source or you can apply it on model. But in this case, we applied our tests on separately, means okay, so you created some test file, YAML file under core, but here you are mentioning these models. This is where it test, means you know, means what test you are doing, means you are maintaining your test file separately. Okay, so then you will run this dbt test command. If you run dbt test, it will run all the tests. Okay, if you are giving specific anything, where is that? Okay, if you give any specific model, it will only just test that particular model. So this is how you will get output if you run dbt test command. I prefer give only dbt test because you have only limited models. So in this case, because we have coded in the sense we have taken tests, accepted values, and one is a kind of a negative discount amount. Also, we have given one custom test and all unique and all. So in this case, it is all pass. Suppose just to show you in my scenario, 2 tests failed. Okay, so you will be seeing like this. These 2 tests failed out of 8 pass, means that unique everything is kind of getting pass. If you see why it's failed, unique values, right? Means in this there are 968 values are not unique. That is what this test got failed. If you see other thing where there are around 25 values are not unique. Okay, so that's how you will be seeing. But for understanding, you just use this piece of code, run test, just see what is happening, right? Just open this one, just understand how much data it is processed and how many kind of values it's processed, right? So just check that. So this is about tests. So it is simple. I don't think anything complex. Any questions? Are we good?
Yes. Yes, Venkat.
Okay. So then the last concept is documentation, where we are already just passing on these descriptions and everything, right? So then run this command like dbt docs generate, because first time you need to run this command, dbt docs generate command, and just give this piece of code, because you will be seeing files, right? Document files. So that is what one time you need to just define this one small piece of code, code.md, then run dbt command, dbt docs generate. So first time you will be seeing like this. Okay, so document this one, then you need before you run that command, you won't see. So now in my screen you are able to see, right? So this is how you also will see view documents. Okay, so if you just click on this view documents, you will get all, means whatever that models you have, then just click on that particular project or particular data file. Okay, for then you will be able to see like what is that source table, what are the sources, descriptions. Okay, so this is how you will be able to see what source table, description, everything, like what are the data types and all. So this is the purpose of documentation, where you just run this thing. So this is, I mean, in screen I'm just showing, right? So this is how your data match, whatever that models you just check. So you will be seeing like this. Okay, so like details, descriptions, columns, what is the SQL also you can just find out. So like DBT, the main purpose is kind of anyone can work, right? Means other teams, suppose they are data scientists, they also can just come and check what is these columns, what are the data types and all. Okay, what are the descriptions? So description means they will understand, okay, what is this column about and all. So they no need to ideally, I mean, they should have data warehousing access and all, but this is what, right, dbt feature it is giving for them to just check their documentation, right? So then they will know, okay, this is how my data, there is some issue, right? Because for me, this particular column should not be a date field or number field. That is what my dashboard is failing, right? That's what your data, other consumers team, probably reporting team, they will just, I'm just giving example. It can be data scientist or it can be business user, anyone. So, right. So everyone has this documentation. So that is the advantage of the documentation. Again, nothing complex. It is just a feature where kind of a data modeling documentation you will be able to see. All right. Okay, so I think here nothing to check in Snowflake. Everything you will be checking in DBT only, documentation and test results as well. Okay, so cool. I think so. Nothing. Okay, so we are done. So all the 6 is done. So I'll be sending this lab document again.